Coming up on the program, we're going to plant some of the brassicas that grow well in our garden, and we'll show you how to do that. The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener is sponsored by the following. MIgardener.com, over 300 varieties of non-GMO, heirloom, organic flowers, vegetables, and herb seeds, all for 99 cents. MIgardener.com. Sioux Growing Supply, located in Wausau, Wisconsin, focusing on certified leaf compost, an excellent amendment for poor soil. With their new garden blend, improving soil structure in clay and sandy soil, great for creating new garden beds. Also available from Sioux's, pre-filled trays and pots with professional potting soil mix or organic rice hull-based potting soil mix. Bag and bulk of certified leaf compost also available. Visit SiouxGrowingSupply.com. Stop before you dig. Call Digger's Hotline first. Call 3 business days before you dig. It's the law. It's completely free and it's for your safety. Know what's below before you dig. It's your responsibility. Call Digger's Hotline or visit them at diggershotline.com. HappyLeafLED.com, commercial grade grow light with a home gardener's affordability. No fans, no motors, simply plug in and grow. Great for seed starting to lettuce to full grown tomatoes, all indoors. HappyLeafLED.com. Welcome to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. I'm Joy Baird. Today we're going to plant brassicas, and brassicas are a category of vegetables that are all linked together here. They're broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, kohlrabi, Brussels sprouts, and kale. Now we're going to plant kale, Brussels sprouts, as well as a number of varieties of cabbages, and we're going to avoid the kohlrabi, which can be started in seed trays. Also, we will direct sow it. It takes about 55 to 60 days based on the variety of kohlrabi. So we'll just grow that directly out in the garden. We're not going to start broccoli or cauliflower because we can't grow it in our garden. We've made numerous attempts at trying to grow it in different locations, different gardens we have, and just simply doesn't grow that well. And the thought process in our mind is, you know what a broccoli and cauliflower plant looks like. The space that it takes to grow that, we can grow something else in that spot, tomatoes or peppers or cabbage, and get a lot more production out of that spot. So what we've got here, and you can start these, you want to start these about 6 to 8 weeks before your last average frost date. To find that last average frost date, you can check with your local extension office. Simply just go online and type in your favorite search engine, last average frost date, insert zip code, insert your zip code. This will give you an average of the last 10 years. Now, keep that in mind. It's an average, so it may be earlier, it may be later. Just keep that in mind. We're going to start ours in 72 cell root maker trays. Now, this is what they look like. These root maker trays are engineering designed to enable the plant's roots to develop and create more vigorous roots in the tray. There's no spiraling wraparound as you normally will get in a traditional square pot or smaller square pot. So you don't have to worry about that. These will set fine for that 6 to 8 weeks until we take them outside, harden them off, and all that. You can start them in your peat pellets, expandable peat pellets that's got the netting. A couple things you want to keep in mind here. When you transplant them, you want to rip that netting off because it doesn't biodegrade. And secondly, peat pellets, cocoa pellets, whatever medium that is in these pellets, they don't contain any nutrients, no plant feed, nothing like that. So once the plants get established about 4 weeks in, they may start, and most likely will start looking poorly because they're looking for nutrients. So you're going to have to feed them with a compost tea, a organic or inorganic liquid fertilizer at half to quarter strength to continue to get your plants growing and keeping them healthy. We're using professional potting soil from Sioux Growing Supply. The benefit with using that variety or that type, a brand of compost potting soil is because it does actually contain professional certified leaf compost in the mixture, slow release fertilizer, as well as perlite, and it does have peat moss in it. So it has all the elements that is needed for a good seed starting base. Now, if you have problems with potential fungal gnats, we'll get to one solution to that. The other is you can take your soil, allow it to warm up outside or in your home. Don't open the bag. And this is for any of them that have a soil-based medium. Then once they get warmed up inside, take them outside on a really cold day that's going to freeze, and allow that bag to freeze, or put the acquired amount that you need in your freezer and freeze it. And that's what's going to happen, is you're going to kill all the eggs of those fungal gnats, and that greatly reduces our problems in our grow room. And we'll talk about another device or material that will help decrease that. So what I'm going to do here, number one, when you're planting any brassica at all indoors and you want to designate those for specific areas in your garden, and that's important because these all take different spacings, you want to label them because they all look identical up to the point basically 2 or 3 months into the growing. We use window blinds. This plastic window blind works good. We can reuse it time and time, and all we're really doing right now is identifying where they're planted in the row. Once we take them out to their designated grow bed, I will know, okay, that's all going to be cabbage, that's all Brussels sprouts, so we don't have to mark them at that point. So what we're going to do here, and this is Copenhagen Cabbage, and all of our seeds come from migardener.com, and the nice thing about MI Gardener seed packets have a pretty little picture of what it's supposed to be on the front and viable, important information on the back. And just to give you a reference, these are, let's go with the Copenhagen Seeds. Copenhagen Cabbage seeds here, 99 cents, you get 300 seeds. So you do the math, that's a pretty good deal. So with this here, we're going to, I've got 12 rows of 5. So I'm going to take each 5 and I'm going to plant 2 seeds in each cell. That's going to give me 10 seeds, and the expectation is all 10 of those will germinate. And I'm going to do that across the whole board here, the whole tray. And at the time that they get to 2.5, 3 inches tall and start really getting a good top development, after you get your initial when you start getting true leaves, I'm going to extract one and take and duplicate this tray here that we're planting into this tray here and double my seed starting crop. So that's something that you can choose to do. If you just want a certain number, I do recommend planting 2 seeds for every 1 seed you expect to get, because not all seeds will actually germinate. It doesn't matter what source you're getting them from or how old or how young they are. Some seeds just don't germinate. You can just go through here and snip the weaker of the 2 if that's the way you want to go. So we'll take the Copenhagen Seeds, and they're small seeds. And like I said, all brassica seeds look just like that. So there's no, that's a corn seed, that's a tomato seed. These are all looking the same. And we just want to put them about 1/8 to 1/4 inch, just want to get enough soil over top of it. If you bury it too deep, or your issue with planting seed starts like this, you're going to have more difficulty if it's not deep enough than if it's too deep. If you get it, a 1/2 inch deep, let's say, the seed's going to germinate, it's going to push through the soil. If you get it not enough soil on top of it, it's not going to germinate very well, if at all, because it needs some soil on top for many seeds that you start indoors. So I'm just going to try to take 2, and what I'll do here is I'm just going to, take my finger, put a little indentation there, and I'm just going to plant the seeds, and then I'll take 2 seeds, plant, and I don't cover them up until I'm all done. And then we will come back after I get all of these planted. Then we'll talk about that other technique in which can help you greatly reduce the amount of fungal gnats, in addition to freezing and thawing your soil, or warming your soil up and freezing it and then letting it thaw. Also, this technique will also help that as well. Okay, so I've got them all planted. I turned it around so you could see the tray better. And I've got them all labeled because, again, they all look the same. Now, one thing you want to do before you fill your seed trays up, no matter what type of seed tray you're using, or cup, or whatever the case is, make sure your potting mix, soilless mix, whatever you're using, is hydrated. Because the advantage, and it's a big advantage, is if this is hydrated going into the tray before you even plant, you don't have to worry about trying to get the medium in which you're growing your starts in to absorb the water. Sometimes, or a lot of times, when you buy some of these cheaper soil mixes, they are extremely dry, and they ship them dry because water equals weight, and weight equals more shipping costs. So if you can get them to hydrate before you even start planting, that will, one, you don't have to top water. You don't want to top water at all because they can blow the seeds out, but it just overall makes the whole seed starting process and germination process that much easier on all aspects. So what we've done here, we've got them all filled up, and we're in a 10 by 20 flat here, and we're just going to bottom water when the seeds begin to, when the tray needs it. Just because it's dry on top here doesn't necessarily mean it's dry at the bottom. Now, you can use a humidity dome if you would like to. We've never found that to be necessary because we have seen with that humidity dome, it's very humid in there, and you do begin to have some fungus, mold begin to grow in that. If you're in a normal environment, a house, you got a grow room off the side in the room, we've never used it. We don't see that it's necessary. If you're growing it in a heated greenhouse or an unheated greenhouse, that humidity dome to hold that heat in, hold that moisture in, then that's when that application would be best utilized. So one last thing we want to do here, we will water it at the appropriate time, but we want to sprinkle the top of our seed tray with regular ground cinnamon. This does two things. Well, it actually does three things here. It helps prevent some of that fungus or that mold that could potentially grow on top of the soil. It also is an antifungal, has antifungal properties. Fungus gnats eat fungus in the soil. So by sprinkling a little of this on your seed trays, the smell repels what fungal gnats you might have, and also it prevents that fungus to grow, which feeds the fungal gnats feed off of. So you can do that, and it smells nice too. So that's a great way to reduce the amount of fungal gnats, bugs you have in your grow room. If you've never grown brassicas, it's really easy to do. It's one of the easier crops to grow. Just have to make sure you plant them in the appropriate spot in your garden and the appropriate spacing that they require. Thanks for joining me. Join me again next time for more organic gardening, food preserving, and seed starting. I'm Joy Baird.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.